Hi there, Taurus. Thank you for joining me for your monthly forecast for July. How you think and how you speak and express your ideas is particularly under the spotlight this month. And really, the action begins as soon as the 2nd, when there is a full moon. Now, this full moon occurs in the part of your scope to do with expanding your consciousness, new ideas, higher education. But it clashes with the area of your scope that's to do with how you think in your everyday life, and perhaps the things that you have believed in the past. And you may find that this is a month when someone challenges you about some of your ideas, or you find yourself being much more passionate about the things that you believe in. And all of this is because, not just does this full moon set the tone, the Sun then pretty well immediately goes into an opposition through to the 9th of the month with the tiny energies of Pluto. But Pluto is one of the most formidable of the outer planets, the higher octave planets. And it's all about truth, it's about transformation, it's about karma, but it can also be to do with power. And you may encounter someone this month who is determined that you listen to their viewpoint. And it may not be a particularly comfortable experience, because then from the 9th through to the 19th, Mars, which is also in the part of your scope to do with passions and persuasion and expressing how you feel, well, that goes face to face with Pluto too. Now, Mercury is going to be moving on the 9th, also into the sign of Cancer, and then that also briefly goes face to face with Pluto. So there's going to be a lot of energy washing around this month where people have differing viewpoints. Now, I think one of the greatest concepts is agreeing to disagree, because what that does is show that we have respect for someone's viewpoint, even if it is different to ours. But we live in a society where people often can be quite self-righteous. The growth of social media means that people can often show outrage at some celebrities' slip-up of what they've said or how they've said it. Or perhaps sometimes it's entirely justified if a major organisation is rather pompous and needs challenging. So these things can be very good. And there's going to be a lot of this stuff going on this month, but it can also be going on in your personal situation too. Now, you have a reputation for stubbornness. Do you think this is fair? Well, perhaps it's more to do with the fact that you like to deal with the things that you are familiar with, whether it's people and experiences. And I think that's the nub of what this month's about, because you could be exposed to new ways of doing things which actually could try to push you towards some kind of change. And change can be frightening if we're people that prefer to stay with what we're comfortable with. So that may be a bit of a challenge for you. But Venus, your ruling planet, is also from the 7th going to be squaring up with Saturn. Now, in the middle of June, Saturn rewound back into your sector of relating, and it's going to be going through this sector all of this month, in fact through to the middle of September. And with Venus in conflict with Saturn, you may find that someone you're close to could be the person that you're having this tete-a-tete with that can last for quite a lot of this month. And it's really deciding what you feel is worth going into battle about. If it's a point of principle, you may feel you have no choice but to stand up to someone you feel is trying to bully you or overly force their viewpoint onto you. But equally, you need to be aware of your own motives of not doing this to someone else. But I think it's much more likely to work out in terms of just the exchange of ideas and perhaps the concept that something does need to alter. And if you're resistant to that change, whether it's in your love life, your personal situation, or just daily routines, that may be when the stresses build up. But there is a wonderful new moon which is forged on the 16th. But this does suggest that something could get said around that time or the week following it that could actually surprise you. Some information can come into the open that you're not expecting. But in the last 10 days of the month, there's a change of emphasis. Venus moves into a gorgeous location for you on the 19th, But it does go into a retrograde later in the month, which points towards some serious thinking about your love life. But also the Sun and Mercury relocate into the part of your scope to do with where you live and how you live there. And that's going to make you more conscious of issues of security. And as this month draws to a close, the stormy energies of Uranus also goes into a retrograde as well. So I think generally, something that does get said this month is going to give you enormous food for thought, and whether you react defensively or you're the one that's trying to persuade someone else, I do feel something has to change, and it's quite critical what this issue is. It's been a real pleasure being with you. Thank you for joining me. Good luck, and goodbye for now.